Quiz me. Give me quiz me about 3 songs that are somewhat recent that are not K-pop, because I told you the ones I know.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm going to bail. I want to see if I can pass your tab.
Okay, back to Friends.
Oh, we have Somber.
I'm trying to remember another one. Sports car.
Tate McRae.
Okay.
Ordinary.
Excellent.
Or Alex Warren.
Oh, really?
That's a boring song, but God bless
it is.
It is. That song. I fall asleep every time it comes on.
Welcome everyone to the first ever interview and series that's called Axel and Friends. It's a show that's all about interviewing famous people and how they actually did it.
And local celebrities, and to be in depth of knowing to what, like, how they did it, how they became, a star, even a local star even. And yeah, go ahead. Introduce the person, Axel. We're pretty excited to have him here.
My name is Axel, also known as, Alexander, or if you guys already knew it, Random Idiot, which is kind of dumb.
You are an idiot. No, I'm kidding. I am Juan Esparza. I'm one of Axel's friends, and I'm just pretty excited to let my radio nerdiness out to the world. That's what I'm excited for.
We're both radio fans.
Well, yeah, and actually, let me introduce him for you, Axel. He is one of the biggest names in Chicago, and he's also done other states, like Texas for a little bit. He's done, I'm trying to remember, like
California.
California. Another one. I don't remember right now. My brain stopped. But he's done a lot of, he's one of the biggest names in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeffrey Mason!
Oh, no, that's Chris.
Oh, that's Chris.
That's Chris Sheeble, man.
Oh, my God. Well, we're having him on the same interview, so I got confused. That's valid.
Let's do a take 2 real quick.
Where is Jeffrey?
No, he's coming. He told us he was coming. I'm sorry, Chris. He told us he was coming. That's why I got so nervous, because, you never know.
And you think I'm a nervous person.
Sorry, Chris.
That's okay.
Let's do a take 2 real quick.
Yeah, let's do a take 2. I'm sorry for that. Chris Shivel, Chris. Get him in the studio.
Hold on.
Get him in the studio.
So high tech, isn't it?
I know, right? I love improvising.
But yes, ladies and gentlemen, from the former personality and the former program director of 92.7 Kiss FM, but also program director from Energy 92.7 and 5 and the 80s channel. Here it is, Chris Sheeble. Welcome, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
How are you?
Oh, we're doing great after doing 2 takes. Let's see.
We're also waiting for Jeffrey from Jeffrey T. Mason, or also known as Jeffro. So he has just. Oh, that was just you.
No, Jeffro should be appearing, I'm sure, momentarily.
Yeah, he should. And y'all are close friends, are y'all? This is one of my outside questions.
Yeah, I mean, I've known him I met him first in Pittsburgh when I was programming a radio station there called The River. It was a modern AC, and he was doing nights on the Top 40, B94, I believe it was, or B97. Jeez, the guy that runs it is a friend of mine. I can't remember that. He'll hate me. But we met for dinner one night and just chatted, and I thought, oh, you know what? He'd be somebody I should keep an eye on him. So when I got the Chicago job of putting on Kiss, I called Jeffro and brought him to Chicago. And that's
nice to know.
Wow, that's awesome.
I have seen the video on the 92.7 Kiss FM the first year. Yeah. I can't believe you guys were really that young.
Well, young is
Young is an understatement. Is that what you're gonna say?
some of us were young. Some of us were not. Some of us were first on the radio in Chicago in 1980. So some of us are.
Ooh.
So I'm assuming y'all.
That would be me.
Oh, nice. So I'm assuming you already had everything when the 80s channel launched, because y'all were the same program, the same staff, basically. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, every radio station always has a list. That's what we call it, where these are the songs we're going to play, and then we get them and we put them on the air.
I also did see that when you guys did the video, you guys also had like a. I don't know if I could say a cuss words or not, but you guys had a shit ton of CDs everywhere.
Y'all did.
It was a fun job, and Jeffro really is.
Go ahead.
Jeffro was the driving force behind the 80s channel. I mean,
yeah,
he was the
that's
music
why.
director. He was the assistant PD. My job was to kind of help him in his first time doing that kind of programming, and he did a great job with it.
And
great enough that the big company took the format.
That actually led him into creating his own radio station called Jeffro.Radio. So I'm happy about that.
Oh yeah, he's been doing that for quite a few years. But before it was cool, he was doing it. So.
Oh my god! Oh, so since 2003. Not even.
Yeah, something like that. I mean,
that's what I saw.
He started it when nobody was streaming. Even a lot of radio stations weren't. They were like, "What do we need to do this for?" Oh, because people are going to wind up listening that way, dude.
Yep.
But
I mean, that's the same thing we're doing. That's the same thing we're doing with me and Juan, as we decided to do the same thing as what you guys did. We've launched a few new radio stations as well, only online. So, because we're still young. We're Juan is in his 20. Well,
I'm about to be 20. I'm 19,
and I'm about to turn 21 in a couple of months.
Okay.
Literally, and like
you're young pups.
Yeah, we are. That's why. Like we haven't. We haven't. Okay, we're just pretty ecstatic for everything. So we've done. I'm getting friends to do voiceovers. With any kind of format at this point. I mean, that's Jeffrey basically inspired me to do my 80s show on Axel's radio station. So because of him, I really say outrageous.
He's a mentor and doesn't know it.
No, he's not. That's why I'm really excited to have him. That's why I'm so nervous to even talk to him. It's like if I talked to, I don't know, the president. I mean,
would have been fun if I brought in Harry Legg as well, but he didn't answer my calls. Because here's the thing: back when I was at school, I think I had something called the after school hours. I was kind of filling my classes and all, and for some reason, I got a call from somebody that happened to be Harry Legg.
Oh man, like I said, it would have been nice if we had like all three, but it would be a lot of money to even have all three people.
And Harry and I, the reason I went to Chicago is partly because of Harry. He was a friend of mine, and he was working on. We had two radio stations in Chicago. The one that became the 80s channel at the time was Heart and Soul. And Harry was working there doing all the production. Ooh. And when they were getting ready to put KISS together, they needed a program director. And so one thing led to another, and I wound up being offered the job. But one thing that I wanted to do before I took it was to drive the signal, because these radio stations from the suburbs, they don't always get into the city very good. And if you don't have a signal good enough to reach so many people, you're not going to get any ratings in Chicago.
No, not really.
So they said, "All right, you should come in and drive the signal." And so Harry was assigned the task of doing that. And they had these Volkswagen Beetles.
Wow!
When they started, they bought like 10 of these Volkswagen Beetles, and they had really, really, really good FM radios in them. So Harry was told to, here's the car, drive him around in this, map it out in your head first. Don't take him anywhere where the signal isn't. So that's. I thought the signal was good and took the job.
Honestly,
and then Harry became the assistant PD. Moved right from there.
Oh man,
he's also been the voiceover guy as well for the new 92 Kids FM because I have heard his voiceovers on SoundCloud as well.
Oh yeah, Harry was one of our station voices, and he's that was his job. He's all over the world. He does voice work.
His voice is pretty iconic, even as someone who lives in the Dallas area. And we haven't heard much of Harry. I've heard his voice only because of air checks, but he did a really good job with his voice. Like I love his narrations and everything.
He's also the current voiceover of KG. So,
yes, absolutely. I used him for KG. I used him in San Francisco. I put a dance station on up there a few years ago. Yeah, Harry and I have a lot of history.
He also used to be the voiceover for another energy station in Phoenix as well, 92.7 and 101.1.
Yeah, that was another one. I put that on. I mean, I helped. I was the consultant for that. I put together the music and stuff for him and got it going.
Because I thought that energy was a bootleg of the original energy, which is in Chicago. I thought they weren't connected,
That's kind of what you do, If you have a success in radio, you try and put it in other markets.
That's how iHearted Univision and Odyssey has done. I heard that when you guys first launched 92 Kids FM, I think it was Harry Legg where it said that you guys were bringing Top 40 back to Chicago. What was the first Top 40 station was?
Well, I mean, there have been many Top 40 stations in Chicago over the years. I worked at one of the most legendary ones back in the days of AM radio. I worked on WLS for a few years.
Oh,
which was, 89 WLS, which I think is still the jingle that they use even as a talk station.
They do it.
Then WCFL, and then Chicago Top 40 moved to FM. Over the years, WBBM FM has been a big player. ABC tried to do WLS FM and Y95, I think it was, and some other ones.
Did.
And then now iHeart has their top 40 that goes up against B96, which is KISS.
Yes,
B96 is a really great top 40 station, actually.
Yeah, I haven't listened to it in a lot. Top 40, I'm so far removed from it now. Every time I listen to top 40, I'm like, it
isn't bad. Like, it has some good artists here and there, but it's not like
what it used to be.
Yeah. Also, Axel, would you mind introducing the next person?
Yeah, I seen the.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you that.
just like how Chris Shibo said it when he brought in the legendary man, beginning the regularly scheduled interview here on Axel and Friends. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Jeffrey T. Mason.
T. Mason. Woo!
Hi.
Both of y'all.
Did Chris not know I was coming?
Yes,
no, I knew you were coming.
Okay.
I've been waiting for 17 minutes.
Yeah,
no one sent me a link. There was no link to click.
I'm gonna explain this. We did send it to you last night, but I'm assuming you didn't see that link. But I had to resend it. You never did?
You never got it?
I'll have to check my spam folder. Maybe it's in there. Sorry, guys. I was actually waiting. I was on time. Rarely.
Oh, man. I'm so sorry about that.
That's okay.
And I'm sure all your listeners, are really excited to know about your email issues.
Yes.
Your issues. No, I'm kidding.
But yes, long story short, while I said something about the interview, I was like, you know what? Let me actually try to bring Chris Shibo and also Harry Legg into the interview as well.
Oh, is Harry waiting? Is he in the other room?
No.
I sent a message to him last time, but he never answered.
Right. Yeah, he's everything.
Yeah, he has an iconic voice and everything. Even though I'm from Dallas, I still heard his voiceovers. It's great.
Well, Harry's been a DJ. He's been a voiceover guy, and he's been a record guy too. So he's done all of it.
And a Tai Chi master.
Oh, I forgot that. Yeah.
Oh, he was? Wait, you gotta tell us the story.
He
You gotta tell us the
teaches it.
story.
Yeah,
Oh, wait.
he's an instructor.
Yeah, Harry's a Tai Chi instructor. He has a very popular business in New Jersey where he lives.
Wow.
Teaching Tai Chi.
I'm gonna get him to help me kick some ass or something
There you
eventually, because so he's an iconic voice, and then he also teaches karate. So it's like, how does that work? I don't know.
Everyone had to do something else.
Well,
I mean,
some of us had to,
your
or still
talents
haven't.
run.
So
Some of us are supposed to be retired right now.
yes,
I did see your Facebook, your link tree. No, your LinkedIn actually
for who?
for Chris Sheba, where it said he's somewhat semi-retired.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, when I moved to Palm Springs, I was retired. I was done with iHeart. My contract was up. I didn't want to renew. I moved here. I bought a place, and then less than a year later, hey, what do you think about putting on a dance station targeting the gay community in Palm Springs? I'm like, well, that's interesting. And so
that's
now
pretty
I'm
interesting,
scheduling music and being a program director again and doing an air shift every day too.
Nice.
That is awesome, really. Okay, so we do have questions for both of y'all. A lot, because we a lot, like actually, like
Yeah.
me and Axel have been prepared like a month, not even. Because we were like, we're going to interview 2 famous radio people. I'm like, okay, let's do that.
who's the second famous guy? Chris is here. Who's the second one?
You, Jeffro,
Well,
you're more famous than me.
Sure.
You are the king of Jeffro.Radio. I mean, come
Well,
on,
that-
man.
You guys
and
inspired me to.
I'm looking at 4 people
One of
on the
the
screen.
longest-
That's bigger than my audience. So
One of the longest running streaming radio stations, and he probably actually pays his royalties too.
that nobody's ever heard of.
Oh, that's true.
I do.
Because of Jeffro.Radio, I heard of songs I've never even heard in my life. Like, I'm being so serious.
It is oddly legit. I do pay the bills actually.
Really? Because I saw you've been paid for the jam jingles, which
Oh yeah,
awesome. I love the jam jingles.
yeah. That's my passion.
Well, Jeffro's
I like that more than radio.
He's a jingle czar. He's a collector of jingles. If you can make money being a jingle meister,
I wish I could. I spend.
I know.
I don't make any.
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. If I had a jingle with my name on it, I'd be like, oh my god,
Oh yeah.
no way.
Yeah.
No, here's the thing. I've actually contacted some few radio jingle corporations, including Real World. Me and Juan decided to create our own radio corporation. Well, kind of semi-radio corporation called RedRadio, and we have our own kind of like demo jingles for RedRadio. The first time they sent me the demo of the jingle, I was like,
yeah, they sent us like the logo, like the logo sound.
like the 3-note jingle.
Dun, dun.
Right.
Yeah, they sent us that, and then we've heard it and we're like, oh my god, no way. But it's $1,000, so I'm like, we gotta wait for that.
Was it $1,000 for one cut?
No, it was like 2, I think, because I
Okay,
think each
yeah,
cut is
sounds
like
better.
500, and I'm
That's
like,
about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Jeffro is such a jingle genius. I bet you could
God.
tell me what package this was from. You ready?
Yeah. Well, that's the
Which one?
shout. That's the shout that you got on the Real World package for Kiss FM,
Yeah.
which was which was Kiss Dallas 96, I think it was called.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
how do y'all
But
both
it really,
know
but
that?
really, it was just a shout. I mean, that could have been anything, but that was
Yeah.
part of that. And
I
I
thought
feel
that was Jam.
well, Jam we used on the 80s channel, but Kiss FM had Real World.
Yes.
Oh yeah, because I was gonna.
And Chris has a shout on the 80s channel too.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Give me
Is
a
man.
moment.
that this
Stand
one?
by.
I have 2 of these. Or that's just a different version.
Yeah, hang on. Stand by. Let me do this. This won't take too long. Okay, I'm digging through my computer right now.
I just wanted to see if my hotkeys worked on my mixer because I heard.
Oh, you've got them all set up. Oh, that's great. Here we go.
Yeah.
Jeffrey has to get the file.
All right, here we go. Let's play this one. You might get some feedback. Let's see if this works. I'm looking for. Sorry, it's taking so long. Here we go.
You're good.
Let's try this.
I just heard
We heard it for like a second. I'm being so honest.
Did it go through?
No, we only heard like 1 second. Wait.
Sorry. Yeah, 'cause it's on the same computer that.
You're doing it on. Well,
you know what? I can't. Hang on. Give me a second. Talk amongst yourselves.
I used to have all my jingles on cart, and I'd take them, steal the carts when I'd leave the station. So I had all my jingles, and there's no cart machines now. So, and I think
the cart machines are extinct.
After years of living in Phoenix and Palm Springs, I think the carts have all melted. So it's pretty much useless anyway.
Well, yeah.
All right, hang on. We're getting there.
Go.
We're getting there.
Okay, I was going to ask a quick question to Chris. It's one of our questions, actually. How did you find out that Big City Radio needed to sell out of all of its stations?
They told us. We were, no, really, they did. I mean, they were really upfront about it. They're like, we have to sell. There was a period of time when radio was on fire in the public markets. And so a lot of companies got these ridiculous amounts of money to be bought that were not sustainable. And the company that we had, the concept of the company was you can ring the suburbs of major markets with stations on the same signal because major markets are so big that these Class A 3,000 watt radio stations might duplicate within that market. So we had in Chicago 92.7 on 2 stations and 92.5, and that covered a lot of the area. And then with the 80s channel, it was 103.1 on 2 different channels. We did the same thing in New York and Los Angeles and tried to do it in Phoenix. But long term, that proved to be more of a challenge, especially when the stock market crashed and all that investor money started to go away. So they're like, all right, what are we going to do? They thought that the most likely avenue for, actually selling it was going to go Spanish, which is what we wound up doing in Chicago and LA and New York. Ironically, I was in charge of the programming of those stations and couldn't speak
Wait, you were the program director of Viva 103.1 on W?
No, I had program directors at the stations, but they declared me the vice president of programming.
Okay.
We were like, Chris works for a Spanish tropical station.
I would go out to the markets and spend like a week at a time. And in LA, I was going every other week for like 3 or 4 months. And, because we had to rebuild the radio station because these were white guys, okay, that ran the company. And so all of the research and everything they bought was based on U.S. interpretations of formats. And then they hired a program director who was basically had come from Mexico. So he based the building of the radio station on how they would do it in Mexico. And it was totally opposite of what the research said. So that was my job to come in and fix it. And we wound up getting new PD. But it was funny because, the songs, you can tell a hit is a hit. If you've done it long enough, you can kind of tell. But when it came to talent, it would be like we would do air check meetings and stuff with the morning show. And I didn't have a fucking clue what they were saying. But then I would ask the PD, I'm like, okay, what? Because everybody was bilingual. And I was like, so what exactly did he do? And then he would tell me what the bid was. And I would know if I thought it was good or not. But if I didn't, I would say, okay, was that funny? And they go like, yeah, that was funny. I'm like, okay, good. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, when you're a Spanish program director, you'd know, but whatever.
speaking of that, I see one of the old video. I just like the same thing. I see one of the old videos for 92 Kiss FM. The first years, you guys actually had the CEO celebrate as well, and then a few years later, you guys he was replaced by Charles Fernandez.
Yeah, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
Was the first guy.
Yeah,
hired
Mike
all of us.
Kakiatis. And Rich Marston was our
General manager.
local manager. Yeah, and and then
Wow.
Charles Fernandez. And actually, if it wasn't for Charles, I will say this about him: if it wasn't for Charlie Fernandez, there would have been no energy in Chicago.
Yes.
I bet.
It wouldn't have happened because we went into a meeting one day. It was we had received a notification from Clear Channel that they were going to put a top 40 on, and they were going to call it Kiss because they own the rights to it. And they're like, you can,
So stupid.
you know,
Y'all
do what
came
you
with
want,
Kiss
we're gonna-
first.
no,
Zigger
but
dog.
they had the rights. They owned it.
They had
And
one
so
of them
we were-
in Los
yeah.
Angeles.
Well, I always
we-
felt like we were like the beta testers for Clear
For
Channel
Kiss.
programming.
We were actually story of my life, Jeffro. Story of my life. But yeah, and so we were in a meeting one day because we literally had like probably a week at best to figure out what we're going to do, to change the radio station. And so we're in a little meeting, and Charlie is on the phone, and Steve Davis, one of our consultants, is in, and manager, and me, and we're like, well, starting to go through options. What if we did this or did that? It's like, I don't know. It's not gonna be distinct enough. If you're gonna have a radio station in the suburbs, it's got to be distinct enough to get people to have passion about it, to listen, because it doesn't come in the best. And so I'm sitting there go, well, maybe we could try dance. And there was quite what? It was like, what? And then he said, you mean like club music? Yeah, I said, no, not like club music, because that's boring after a while. We do like dance hits. We'll play and they were like, oh, and then Charlie Fernandez, because he lived in Miami and was maybe a little more up on things. He said, do you think it's going to get listeners? I'm like, yeah, I think it could. He's like, let's do it. And that was it. That was
the
decision
blessing.
done.
I always looked at the fact that we had bad signals in Chicago as a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
That the low signal was bad for just for reach, but at the same time, you had to really take big swings to get noticed on those, and that we were given.
Oh,
the
it was
option
so
to do
much
that.
fun too. We had so much fun, Jeffro.
I bet. Oh my god, like energy. I saw some of the comments on the energy videos, like the air checks, and they're like, "Oh, we missed this station. I wonder why they took it down." Like a lot of people are wondering what happened to it, basically, and a lot of people
Company
still.
went
Well, yeah, but
Yeah,
other than
the company went under and sold it to a Spanish
SBS.
broadcasting company.
which, by the way, it's ironic because they're going to bankruptcy.
Yeah,
very ironic.
As have many of our major broadcasters.
yeah.
Which is
Several
very
times.
That's nothing new.
Everyone does at some point. Yeah,
I
Get that
mean,
protection.
I worked at
Hell,
a
we-
station in San
go ahead.
Francisco. I worked at a station that I think when they bought it for like $40 million or some ridiculous
Wow.
money like that. A few years later, they had to sell it, and it went for like $7. Because the price of radio had just exploded so much.
the other
It
Energy
was like a
92.7.
buyer frenzy.
Yeah.
The other one. Yeah, and,
The other one.
The
The other one.
the luster. When the luster wore off, everybody started to crater. That's how investors work. I guess.
Investing is. I mean, yeah, I guess that's how it
Yeah.
works. Okay, I have a question for both of y'all, and I know I should have asked y'all the questions that we were supposed to ask, but when the 80s channel launched, did y'all expect it to explode, to succeed, to become its thing, basically?
You
Yeah.
take that.
No, I did.
Well-
I mean, I thought when we were talking about putting it together, because that was the other one. It was like, we have to come up with a format, and we have like 5 days to do it. Because
it wasn't that long.
We're a little less
It
than
wasn't-
that. Yeah.
Well, it was a little long. Actually, it was longer than that. But yeah,
Yeah. But
We had hoped.
we
It
were
was,
again.
I mean,
You know,
80s
Clear
was always
Channel,
a passion thing.
Yeah, I mean, they ABC did it later, but we were jamming oldies at the time with that station. Jeffro was on, of course, Kiss, not working with the 80s channel, but
That station.
because there wasn't one.
There we go.
And but we were doing a format called Heart and Soul, which was the I guess incubator to jam and oldies. And so Clear Channel told us, we're going to take your jam and we're going to take that format and put it on. We're going to do jam and oldies. So, I think they were smooth jazz or something at the time. Was it? I don't remember.
It was a rock station. Didn't they offer us the rock format? Didn't they offer to trade the intellectual property? It was Rock 103.5, and we said no.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Which is fine.
Because we didn't,
But it's fine. There were enough rock stations in town as it were. So
there was already the Loop. There was already the Drive.
Yeah, and
that's why they were flipping. Well, the Drive wasn't around yet.
And there was talk that we were going to do country. As a matter of fact, when we made the announcement to the staff, our manager came in dressed as a cowboy.
That's
on the video. That's on the first year video.
Oh, really? Was that what you dressing a cowboy?
That's why he didn't dress that way normally. That was the joke. Yeah, I guess we didn't really. No, he even said it in the video. He said, "We're going to take this thing country." Yeah, that was the joke.
Well, no, I'm glad y'all did not take country. It's not about
that's never gone very well for competitors in this market either. So
no. That's
had the
that little company, that little big city radio company was like awesome for this kind of thing, because when we went into the meeting again of like, what should we do? I'm sitting there going, we could do all 80s. And they were like, well, yeah, but that usually doesn't work very good, doesn't it? And I said, yeah, it doesn't work very good because they play the same 150 songs over and over and over and burn out all the listeners. I said, we could do it right because Jeffro is with us.
Well, but honestly, nobody really had done it legitimately. There was the station in Columbus, Star 107.9, but they were playing 70s and 90s as well. They were just focusing on 80s. Nobody really up to that point had done a legit all 80s radio station. So in a way, we were one of the first.
With the
production values, the everything. I mean, we even had reverb, right? Didn't we have reverb?
After you guys gave it up on Kiss, we took it.
We took it. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
that was my thing.
I remember it today.
Because I remember when we first started talking about it. I mean, I think everybody was on the same page musically. The only question was imaging. And I remember, Chris, you had mentioned that since we had a real world package on Kiss, we already have a relationship with the company. Why don't we just do one for the 80s channel? And I was like, oh no. Let's take that a different direction and let's go legit 80s style imaging. And that's what we went with.
Yeah, and it
really,
worked.
it was a great idea because Jam does their amazing 80s jingles. Really, like with the air checks I've heard so far of the 80s channel, it really made me feel like I was listening to an actual 80s station. It just felt so good.
It didn't hurt that most of the people who were on, minus me, because I was just a kid, were on the air in the 80s. So, I mean, they did it already. You had Fred Winston and Robert Murphy, who were just enormous talents here in the market. And Donna Mullen had been around for a while. A lot of our weekenders have been in the market for a long time. I'd grown up with 80s music. And the jingles that we used were most of them, not all of them, were already heard on the air on stations like Z95 or WLS-FM or Q101. So even though it had been a decade or more since anyone had heard them, there was some familiarity to it.
Yeah.
It was it sounded great. I mean, it was a great radio station. It was so great that ABC came and said, we're going to take that format from you. Have a nice day. Oh, we're taking Jeffro too.
Well,
and then Jeffro didn't last long there.
Well, I have to correct people on this one because they didn't take me. I volunteered to go, but the only reason I volunteered to go is because we already knew that either Kiss or the 80s channel or both were going to be flipping to Spanish at some point, and I am not bilingual.
Which did happen.
There was an opportunity, but I will correct you and say that they 94.7 never stole our format because they never even came close to it. And they only even kept the somewhat resembling format for about 6 months. And as soon as that started fading, that's when I crossed the street and went back to work with Chris.
Oh, man.
They sanitized. Yeah,
It was the same problem that every 80s station had. It was very modern, new wave, and rock leading, and there was barely any rhythm on it. Not a lot of pop either, and it leaned too far in one direction. The beauty of the 80s, it was one of the last decades where a top 40 radio station could truly play all the genres on one station and have a solid audience. Everything got fragmented into the 90s.
Yeah, man.
Damn you, Internet!
You're not wrong.
Yeah. Oh, here. Tell me this works. Hang on. Here we go. Tell me if you hear this.
Yeah.
Chris Evil. WXXY.
Sorry, I got excited. I'm so sorry. that was when I hear Jam, all I think is, holy shit. This is amazing.
Me too. I remember the first time, I remember growing up with Jam Jingles on the air in New York City. And I remember the first time a DJ who knew, because I used to call the DJs on the request line back in the day before I was in the business. And I would say, hey, could you play your jingles for me? And they would all, all right, kid. And they do that. But one time somebody was nice enough to send me a Jam demo because I didn't know who made these jingles or where they came from. I didn't know how that worked. Yeah. I also didn't know that the same jingle was on the air in one market that was on the air in another market with just different words. I had no idea. And when someone sent me a Jam jingle demo about 1989, I think I listened to it for about 3 weeks straight and it blew my mind. And that was the beginning, really, of a lifelong association
relationship.
With them.
Oh, yeah, that too.
What's funny is that Juan is a Texas native. He's from Dallas. Their offices are in Dallas, so he could just.
I could literally go to the studios.
You could, and you should. Yeah. You should sometime.
No, I want to. Like I want to get a specific jingle pack. Turbo Z. You know which one that is.
Sure.
I really want to get the Cut 10 one because it's iconic.
Oh, the top hour.
Yeah, the top hour cut is just great. I would love to.
I can't believe you know their numbers, you guys. You are such nerds.
I know it because I look at the website packages literally like. I just love the cut. I'm like, oh my god.
Jeffro and I are old enough that we actually looked at the reels they came in on.
Oh yeah. Oh. Here, guys. Here's one for you. This is a Turbo Z cut.
Slightly unfiltered with no filter. Jeffro.Radio.
Oh. My inner radio self loves that. I'm being so serious. So Jeffrey, yes. I'm going to tell you the truth. You are my inspiration of my own show I do for Axel's internet station.
Okay.
Called RedRadio. I make a 80s show every Saturday. I made one yesterday, by the way. It's just 80s hits. Like it's not the same hits I try to do it like every week. I don't try to like copy and paste the same hits. Right. I try to do different with requests as well, but you are the reason why I am doing this 80s show and the 80s channel. Cool. And I really love the work you do. And Chris as well.
How did you discover the 80s channel? Because you guys are far too young to have known about it. What was it? Air Checks Online?
Yes, it was exactly that. Okay. Yeah. So there's people online that record top hours. They record the full air checks with edited music or whatever. and a lot of people post these. I even heard the launch, like when the 80s show, like that was really cool launch. I loved it. It had really cool based 80s jingles. Like it just had everything that was perfect with it.
Yeah.
And really, I discovered it with that, and I got some of my friends to it because they're all like, "Oh, this station sounds really good." And ever since, I discovered the 80s channel, I told a lot of my friends about it, and they're like, this station could have been great, but again, the frequencies were bad." So it's like
we got surprisingly decent ratings in Chicago for a bad signal too. I'll say that. I remember seeing our 18 to 34 numbers. Yeah. I think right before we went off the air, were top 10 in Chicago.
Wow! No, that
surprised even me. Yeah,
we were.
You guys have many fans as well.
Oh yeah.
There's still a lot of.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I don't think there's any other suburban station that has outperformed what we did with like 92 Kiss.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, they're still fans of the 80s channel. They're still fans of Energy. they're still fans of 92 Kiss. A lot of people say, "Oh, this was my favorite station growing up," and it's like, "Oh my god."
Here's one more
That's
Turbo
awesome.
Z jingle for you.
103.1 WXXY.
Oh man, I want that jingle package. It's so
It's a
expensive.
good one. It's a good one.
Like I really like. I could really go to this jam studio. And I could tell them to make me at least one cut, and I would be
Well, you
like,
know-
"Oh my god!"
What's funny is when we did the 80s channel jingles, I specifically didn't use Turbo Z Cut 10 for the top of the hour because a lot of stations had used it, and I wanted to do something a little different. And so I went with the one we went with was from the Skywave package,
Yeah, that was
Skywave
a
Cut
good
12. But and Turbo Z10 is one of the few top hour jingles that I have not bought for Jeffro.Radio. So I love the jingle, but it's been used everywhere. So I
Everywhere.
try to keep it a little bit different.
It's been used on iHeart. It's been used on like Odyssey.
I've used it. I've used it on the
You
air,
used
other
it?
places. Yeah.
Oh. Well, yeah, a lot of stations use it a lot, and it's like it doesn't get annoying. I think it's great,
Nah.
but it's like for me, it didn't get annoying. Even
Well, here's a fun fact. You know the little electronic voice in that jingle that's called
the Sonobox.
Sonobox.
Yeah,
And it's John Wolfert who does that voice, the guy who owns the company. So it's actually him. Yeah. All the DJ jingles. Crash ball. Yeah.
I actually like again if I had the name with the Sonobox, the 80s channel. You know, I actually that jingle because I think someone stole a clip on YouTube and put it on YouTube or something. That top of the hour, I've heard it. I think on a loop like 5 times because it's just so good.
Here's
Like I heard it so much.
Let's talk about this Sonoba. Oh, no, that's not the one. Hang on.
The wrong
I thought that
package.
was the one. That's not the one.
I like that one too, though. You
Oh,
can
no,
keep it.
It's this one. I think it's this one. Is it this one? Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
103.1 The 80s Channel. WXXY.
My favorite.
Let me see if I have something here. Hang on. I'm monopolized. This is becoming the Jingle Geek Show. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I mean, we still have a few questions before.
Ask away. I'll pull this up. But go
Okay,
ahead.
we'll ask you. I'm gonna steal one of Axel's questions, and this is for Chris. If I were to bring back energy to Chicago, I mean, I wouldn't. Would you work with me and a few other people in the future?
Sure, if you pay me. Yeah.
I mean, we would love to work with
it
both
would
of you.
be-
Y'all are giants, really.
They are still doing the dance on 92.7 at night, right? Is Lewis still doing that? I think.
Yes, Louis Tulad Lopez
Is he?
is doing
Oh, wow.
Dance Factory.
Yeah.
Surprisingly,
He's the God. That guy. He's the longest running jock on that frequency.
Yes.
wow!
Mhm.
I can't believe that frequency hasn't been sold again. Oh, let's see.
Well, it has been.
Well,
several
it's
times,
not
I
gonna.
think.
Yeah, but I think it's still owned by the guy.
The NewsWeb
it's
guy?
WCPT. It's the talk. Yeah, it's the NewsWeb guy.
Yeah.
And they
actually
do
got
dance at
sold
night
by-
and then liberal talk during the day.
It actually got sold by Rhythm Enterprises on 92.7 in Arlington Heights.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
But here in Kankakee, where I live, our 92.7 frequency is actually owned by Miller Media, which right
Is
now
that
they
Valley? VLI? Is that
Yep.
what it is?
Yeah.
I didn't know you were local. I didn't realize you were here.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right.
And we technically DeKalb and Kankakee still have their top 40 stations, but we have it on 95.7 while DeKalb has 90, I think 94. I
Oh,
don't
they have
remember.
B95 WDKB. I think
Yes,
is the one, right? Yeah.
WDKB.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's funny because I'm not a local, but Jeffrey has been in Dallas, like for K-Love.
I
Which
did. I
one-
worked for Caleb for about 10 minutes between jobs. I was living on the floor of a guy that has worked with both Chris and I, Joe Blasny.
Yeah.
And between two jobs in Indianapolis and Miami, I needed a place to crash. So I stayed at his house and I worked at Caleb for a little while. Yeah.
Wow.
I like Dallas. Dallas was fun. I enjoyed it. I would go back there. Actually, when I
Please
got-
do. Please
Well-
do. We need you here. It's so boring. It's so
Well,
bland.
I thought they needed me here in Chicago, but apparently that's not the case either. So
No,
No, we don't. No, they don't. Come with us.
No, 'cause
We'll
I
come
want
with
to. I
us.
want to bring top 40. I want to bring true top 40 back to Chicago because B96. Well, they're still going good.
Whoa.
Shut up, Juan.
And the
Yeah,
only reason
We're also going through some major cultural shifts in the way we use music, and it's been happening
That
for
is
the
true.
past few years. But it was accelerated by TikTok. So there's a reason why, for example, most songs don't have intros anymore, and it's because of TikToks and stuff like that. Because they want the words to start right away.
Right to
That
it.
these kids will put them on their videos and stuff. For radio, that's devastating because we don't like to stop the music. So there's no place to even tell people what the name of the song is now.
Oh.
I
I don't know if anybody follows
and
that philosophy
priority.
anymore, though.
Yeah.
I've
priorities.
had conversations in meetings about, should we talk, stop the music in a sweep? And I got to tell you, a lot of management people don't seem to care. So,
No, they don't. Well, they don't care about anything, but we could try to get our
Anymore.
stock price back up about $1. But it's the culture has really shifted. The priorities with the record industries have changed too. Radio airplay is especially to the younger kids in the industry. They don't understand the need for it. They're everything is streaming and all of that. So, but it's no different. The difference is that there's less decision makers because now everybody can make a decision.
That is that. I mean, that is true. I
Yep.
mean, not literally. I don't think a lot of people care for radio anymore. Sadly.
well, there's a lot more options.
Well,
than there
they
used to
do
be.
actually.
Well, yeah.
That's everybody. That's one of the problems the industry's had because it's the oldest industry that everybody says is going to die in 5 years and still there always. Radio is the last of the mass media. If you ask me about television, I'll tell you television's dead. Nobody is watching over-the-air TV anymore. They just watch the shows on their Hulus or whatever. But radio, because of its strength in the car, is the only mass medium left.
And HD radio, which is still a thing. I mean, that helps radio a little bit.
HD radio is just not marketed properly.
no, because it's only exclusively to where cars have HD radio or a small device that has HD radio built in.
Well, that and also there's a difference between HD radio and HD TV, and it was never properly explained by the people who put HD radio together. And does it just mean it's better quality? Nobody realizes. Wait, there are stations between the stations. It never quite caught on.
And that's how Energy on 96.7 failed.
What's Energy on 96.7?
Well,
No, 96.3. It's the one that it was on originally called.
an HD side channel, I think. Right?
I didn't even know that
dance
existed.
format
They had
on
a
that?
side channel called
Yeah.
Energy? Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, a lot.
They might have,
There's a
I don't
lot
know.
to know, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
There's a lot to know.
Wow.
103.5
Yeah,
and
HD radio was HD radio is a wonderful technology. The sound quality is much better, and the data usage and stuff you can do is really good. But it is unfortunately designed by engineers and bean counters instead of by programmers. And so the way they put it out, it was silly. U.S. people still don't understand it. We just took our station to HD when we moved KGA to 103.1. And now I get calls from people because the title and artist isn't showing up because on our HD we haven't been able to export it yet. So I know that HD works, but all of the people that are doing it never even know they had HD.
Right.
Until this is gone. Because it just does it automatically now.
And it's not in a lot of cars. There are not a lot of cars that have HD as a standard in there.
Unless you have.
Yeah.
Oh, there are?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Well, unless you have like a 2026 car, you don't. I don't have one.
I think it's around 65 to 70% of all cars sold have HD.
Oh, now
I have a Chevy and it does not. So I have a 2025 Chevy and it does not have. Yeah.
It also depends on the brand,
Mazdas,
actually.
They both do. Yeah.
It depends on the brand of the cars, I think, also.
Yeah.
And then the connected cars.
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing. Dashboards are now controlled by companies that are subcontracted by manufacturers. So like when we moved our KGA and everything, it still is showing up wrong on a lot of people's cars because whatever the company is they use hasn't figured it out yet. And we don't even know how to get in touch with them.
Jeez.
This was another question for Chris, but I'm going to ask it for both of y'all. And the question is working in the radio business really difficult?
Define difficult. Like in what way?
Like, is there a certain... is there a route you have to take in order to, be popular in the area? Or like, that's what I think.
Popularity is luck of the draw, but I mean, the route to get into the business has certainly changed through the years. I can say that it's not the same. It's not the same path that you once took, because there aren't as many opportunities there aren't as many training grounds that there used to be. Used to be you'd start out, doing like weekend overnights on a radio station, and there really aren't any weekend overnights on radio stations anymore. It's all recorded. The training ground is different, but
I think if you want to be a performer in radio, you're either going to have to be one of the most entertaining morning people ever, or you have to learn how to channel your performance into other things, because DJs on the radio are unfortunately not an in-demand profession anymore, and it's only going to get worse with technology. There's a company now that's offering a full AI service that they're using voices. People, some of them I know, but then AI will put all the breaks together and stuff, and that's much more fiscally efficient for companies, unless they have some kind of a talent that they can generate money off of.
If you didn't know, live, I think it was Live 105.3, they tried doing an AI jock, and that failed. That took like only months.
Yeah, they did it in Portland, I think it was. Was it Portland? Yeah.
They also did one for Los Angeles as well.
Oh, and they're now doing it for a station called The Zone. I forgot where that is.
Oh, yeah, there's a new format, where it's all AI.
Yeah. God, that's disgusting. I'm sorry.
I mean, it depends on what you're listening for. Not everyone's listening for the same things.
I mean, but I wouldn't listen to a robot that's like, welcome to The Zone.
Well,
you may not know it's a robot.
It doesn't sound like a robot.
No, you're not going to know.
And you're not going to know, exactly.
Yeah. I got a question for Jeffrey.
Before it goes.
With the same video that I seen for 92.7 Kiss FM, before you guys were about to move your offices from Arlington Heights to Chicago,
right,
you had a license plate that says Shy Jock.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you still actually have it.
I do. It's not within reach, but I do have it. There's a funny story with my license plates in Chicago. So the first vanity plate that I got was Shy Jock, CHI Jock. And it literally arrived. The only reason you see it in that video is because it literally arrived in my mailbox the day we were moving to Chicago. Which is, who knew? I'd ordered it months before. So it gets into my mail the day we're doing our last show in Arlington Heights. The other personal plate that I ordered in Chicago was GTFO, which I think we all know what that means. And it came the last day of the radio stations in Chicago. It was delivered the day we GTFO'd. So weird.
Y'all did.
Yeah. I seen your old.
The day you guys did. I sat there for another couple of months, Jeffro.
Well, I was there. I just wasn't getting paid. No, I don't use the plates anymore, but I do still have them somewhere.
Kids, I'm going to have to jump. It's been fun.
I'll give you a few more minutes, but then I got to bail too. But
All right.
Well, we're not gonna end it here. We're gonna probably ask one more question for you, Chris, and then for Jeffro, we're gonna ask
one more question.
Yeah, one more question for Chris. From going to a small company, big city, to iHeart, what's the difference between those two?
Well, the difference is
things.
There's a few differences. You have a little bit more stability. You make better money. You have health insurance. And, if they like you, you're going to have a lot of success. I was very fortunate. I have nothing bad to say about iHeart. They supported me. I had a cluster in Raleigh, and I got everything I ever needed. I had everything I needed in Portland. We had a #1 station there for years. The people that were my programming people above me were it was never adversarial. It was, I never had a bad time working for them, and I'd work for them again tomorrow.
That's awesome. A lot of people complain about iHeart and corporate, but that's just another.
You won't hear
story.
me complain about iHeart, but of course they pay me, so I really.
Well, yeah, you shouldn't really complain. A lot like I said, a lot of people complain about it because they're like, "Oh, it's too corporate. It's the same thing."
See you guys
Which,
later. I'm gonna go.
See you,
All right,
Chris.
bye, Chris.
Have a nice day, Chris.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Sorry, I was late. Honest to God, I never got an email with a link. So
No,
I feel
you're
bad.
okay. I sent it like.
Oh, now I
the
can't
first
hear
time
you
we sent
guys.
it. Oh, you can't.
Oh,
Wait,
No, I was
There you
also busy.
Okay.
As well.
What I was trying to say is,
Juan, I can't hear. I can hear Axel. I can't hear Juan.
wow. Let me.
Can you hear me, Juan? Because okay, I'm gonna play this for you. I was looking for it while you figure out your sound here.
Okay.
This just shows you the life of a jam jingle in Chicago.
Yeah.
Well,
Hang on. Well, it would
Tell
help
me
if
if
I
you can hear
actually
me.
hit the button right. Hang on, let's see this.
Do you hear me, Axel, or does he
Bear
not
with
hear
me.
I
me?
can hear you.
No, I know. Hang on. It's here. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
94.7 WXXM 103.1 The 80s Channel WXXY 104.3 Chicago's K-Hit Jeffro.Radio.
Oh my god.
This is now.
4
Ooh.
times that jingle.
I'm so happy. Tell him I'm so happy.
I do have a question for you, actually.
Go ahead.
It's one of the same. It's the same video where it had the license plate.
Yeah, the first year video.
Yes, and there was a word. No, there was a few words that Melissa Foreman has said about saying "do me," where she was just about to get
With George. Yeah, with
yes.
George. Yeah.
She said if it was gonna be somewhere anywhere like online.
Do what you were doing off.
This isn't going to be anywhere, is it?
It's been 27 years. It's now, and she's now working for iHeart as well on WLIT.
Sure.
Does she know about it?
Oh yeah, that video was shot not by any of us. That was shot by a guy. Maybe you've heard of him. Have you ever heard of Art Bolo? Art Bolo has made a career of going to radio stations and videotaping DJs on the air and doing video air checks. And Art was in the studio that day at Kiss FM, so he shot that. The whole thing was being shot because they knew it was going out. I mean, that's just, Melissa was being fun.
It's common sense. Do you hear me?
Yeah, got you now.
Okay.
Now we can hear.
What I was trying to say is, I'm so happy you played that. I'm so happy.
I put that together once for a friend of mine just to show them how a jingle can have several lives in a place. Because radio stations, when you buy a jingle, you're only licensing it for a certain amount of time. Usually it's a year. It's a little different with internet stuff. Like Jeffro.Radio, I don't have to license it because I'm not legally allowed to play it over broadcast air. I can play it on the internet. But if I were like the 80s Channel, we would buy the license to the jingles for 1 year. And then after a year, you'd have to renew the license. And if you didn't renew the license, technically you weren't supposed to use that jingle, even though a lot of stations still did. But other stations in town could also buy it. As long as you paid for the license, you had exclusivity, so nobody else could take the same jingle. But then if you weren't paying the license anymore, then anyone could have it, which is why that Warp Factor jingle has been heard, multiple times in Chicago alone. Yeah.
I love it. I think even on K-Love, it was played when it was still classic hits. Right now, it's like the spot.
Yeah, then they have no ratings anymore. They lost.
Oh no,
a big
they
radio
did.
Station.
No, they did. The problem with that is because a lot of stations took over. Like Star 102.1 took over. I think 96.3 took over.
Yeah.
Which is funny because 93.3 became a new stock station. Well, a simulcast of WBAP, but
right. They had gone through a few things because they were doing top 40 for a while. Were they I-93?
Yeah, I-93.
Yeah. What's funny is that KLUV was actually, they sold their call sign to
I know, to the K-Love network.
To K-Love.
Yes.
That's
That's
why.
where it should have been. All right, here's trivia. What were the call letters of K-Love before it was K-Love?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Well, you wouldn't. It was in the 70s. That station was a very big top 40 station. It was called K-News 99, but it wasn't a news station. It was a top 40 station. And when they first signed on as K-Love in the early 80s, it was actually KLVU. and then they flipped it around to KLUB. Here's something for you. How about this?
And now it's KSPF.
Oh.
Yeah, KSPT. Yeah.
Yes. I love that.
It's a long one. Hang on.
It's a ramp. I know they're called.
It's a top hour jingle.
Yeah.
Oldies Radio 98.7 K-Love.
I got them all.
Wow.
I got them all.
Wow. You still have like the original jingles?
I'm a jingle guy, so I save all of it. I'm surprised I don't have my Jeff Mason jingle from K-Love handy here. It's on an air check somewhere, but
yeah, it is. I think
you still have
probably
man.
York.
Well, you talk about, if you heard a jingle with your name on it. Now, by the time I worked at K-Love, I had been in the business for about 15 years. Mm-hmm. So I had jingles with my name on it before. But I only came into K-Love to do a weekend show while I was staying with a friend of mine in Dallas. And believe me, when I was shocked, I came in for my first show and they had a jingle. They had my name shouted for a jingle. They actually, just for a part-time guy, which never happened.
Already.
It was ready for me within a week. Well, they're in Dallas too. I mean, it's right down the street, but I couldn't believe that they went out and spent money on a shout for a guy. I literally worked there for like a month and a half. And that was kind of the idea from day one. I wasn't going to be there very long. It was just an in-between. So I was blown away that they had done a jingle for me. It was kind of cool.
I mean, all I'm going to say is really radio here in Dallas has been bland in the past years.
Well, radio's been bland a lot of places.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
I'm not a top 40 guy anymore. I mean, I do play a lot of that music on Jeffro.Radio, so I am familiar with new music, but it's not my focus. So I'm not listening to. Listening to those stations.
Yeah. Funny enough, on my Instagram page, I actually showed a story that I was working with my dad doing construction. And we heard at least an hour, because in Alexa, they had an Alexa. We played Jeffro.Radio, like at least an hour. I played it, and I'm like, oh my God, he plays new music too?
Oh, yeah.
He knows about it?
I know. And I don't, do I know that that's a good thing to do, to play 80s through today? I don't know. Is there an audience for all of it? I don't know. I'm an audience for all of it, but I don't know if everybody is. Look, I joke around, I kid around about having, fewer listeners than we can see on the screen here, but it's not that far off. So it's never really taken off the way I wish it is. I've been doing internet radio for 23 years, almost 23 years. Wow. And the first station that I put on before it was Jeffro.Radio was called 80snow.com. And just because I know you love jingles.
Yes. Yes.
We had jingles on 80s Now.
I did not, actually, because there was no air checks.
Well, hang on. Let me... No, there won't be air checks of an internet station. That's true.
Yeah, no, there...
Here we go.
I didn't even put air checks for your show, Juan.
Let's see what we got.
That's sad.
Serving the universe from a 40-gig hard drive in Chicago. This is the acid-churning, nitro-burning 80s music mothership. Rocking at the speed of light.
All the hits, 1 decade. 80s now.com Chicago.
So
wow.
That was the first thing I put on the internet back in 2003.
Wow.
I'd only been, when the 80s channel went off and I went over to, I went over to the Zone. I went over to 94.7 before the 80s channel was gone because, again, like I mentioned earlier, we knew it was happening. And when that station launched, I was under the incorrect assumption that they were going to kind of pick up what we were doing. They never did. It didn't sound anything like the 80s channel. I was told it was going to be a lot like the 80s channel. It wasn't. Whatever. So I went and did that. And once I realized, we're talking about playing new music. Once the Zone started playing brand new songs, but even before Kiss FM was playing new songs, I was like, okay, this isn't what I signed up for. And that's when I ended up leaving and going back. But from that point, I always wanted to do 80s again. And I just never found the opportunity to do it So as soon as Big City went out and Energy went off the air, we were all out of work again. I started working immediately on putting an 80s station together. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I didn't know if it was going to be on the radio or what. And it was around that time that streaming radio stations were really kind of just becoming a thing. And it was becoming somewhat affordable to run them out of your home. It was up till that point, you would never think of running a radio station out of your house. How could you do that? That's impossible. And suddenly it was happening. So I had all the music from the 80s channel, and that's what I started with. So I put this format together, and then I bought the website 80snow.com and bought just a small handful of jingles and launched that in 2003. And so that was my first internet radio thing. And I'll tell you, my listenership on that was enormous. It was huge. It was more expensive though then to buy streams, to buy listening slots, to do it, that people could, for instance, if you want to be able to have 100 people listen at the same time, you got to buy 100 slots. And at that time, to buy 100 slots was at least $100 a month, probably $200. So
Jeez.
I didn't have that kind of money. So I had a very limited amount of slots, and they filled up instantly because it was still a novelty to have internet radio. And as the years have gone on, everyone's got an internet radio station. So it's a lot harder to get noticed. And I'm not saying they're all bad, but everyone has one.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
It's harder. It's just harder to get noticed for it. Also, there's no such thing as a niche format anymore because everybody is doing every format. So, doing all 80s. I remember when I was doing it, I don't know if it still exists. There was a stream called channel977.com. And I think the guy that ran it was loaded, like he was rich. He had a lot of money. And so it was his hobby. And he had like unlimited streams. And I would look at the ratings and the online listenership numbers. And his were outrageous through the roof. And he had like 10 different formats that he was doing. And they all had huge numbers because he had money to market it and had money to advertise it. And I did not have any of that. I was running bare bones and just doing what I could to afford the jingles and to pay. You heard Mitch Craig, the voice guy on that ID there. He was the B96 voice for a million years. He's been every radio station's voice back in the day, Z100 and everything.
Oh, that was him.
Yeah, that was Mitch Craig, who's still, by the way, are you familiar? There's a station in Dayton, Ohio called Z93.
Yes.
They were a top 40 station way back in the day. And they just came back and started calling it Z93 again.
Ooh.
And they brought
They brought back
the old jingles. I think they have them resung technically, but they're the old jingles. But they have Mitch Craig doing their work. And I love Mitch Craig. He's the best.
When you sent me the jingle for 92.7 Kiss FM, I was wondering if you still actually had the one with the new version where it had the new 92.
Mm-hmm.
As he looks to the side, let's see here. Hold on.
Because I remember when I heard the new version, like their new kind of edited version, I was like, wait, what? Until I found out that
the new 92 Kiss FM.
You didn't ask for those. You just asked for the original Kiss jingles. That's all I sent you. Yeah, we got them. I remember the first thing that we did. I did them actually when we were at Kiss and we got the station in DeKalb, the 92, the WDEK, and we started simulcasting and we couldn't call it 0.7 anymore. So the first thing that we did, I went into the production studio and I took all the 92.7s out of the jingles and I replaced it with our voice guy, Mark Driscoll, going, the new 92, and so it was just, he would say that where the 92.7 was. And I feel like it was about a week or two later, we got the new one sung.
I did hear his voice on that, and shout out to Mark Driscoll. He's been a good man with the voiceovers. Fortunately, he did pass away. So.
Yeah, a lot of people do. Mark was an interesting guy. He was the voice of Jeffro.Radio for a minute.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, nobody remembers that. Hang on, let's see if I can find that. Mark's a genius. He thinks differently, and I'm sure you saw him in that first year video. That's one of the funniest parts of that video is seeing him in the studio cutting the liners for Kiss FM, and just his put up with that crap. I mean, he's just so funny.
All the stations around here have made you tune around like a crazy person to find your favorite songs. Well, we're putting a stop to that crap.
Nice.
He also used to be the voiceover for CBS 2 Chicago as well. Because I've heard his voice.
He's been everywhere.
Really?
Amazing.
That's why you probably recognize his name. That's why I got Brian Lee to do voiceovers.
Brian's fantastic.
Yeah,
Brian's good.
I got it. It's so funny.
Brian's on every is he still on Channel 2? Does he still do the Channel 2
I
stuff?
think so, yes. He also does it for our station, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
Technically, he now says it as CBS Chicago because since WBBM changed their name from just CBS 2 to now CBS Chicago.
Right.
Yeah. And he does stuff for, like, I'm going to say, it's a weird story. I basically emailed him as a joke to tell me, I thought he wasn't going to reply. So I emailed him a liner, for example, and then I get the email back and I hear his voiceover. And I'm like, I thought he was going to charge me or something. And no, he does my stuff for free. And I'm like, okay. Aww. I'm like, that's nice. Yeah, he does my Red 80s voice lines. And
you know what? He's I've never met Brian. I did know somebody he used to live with. Jennifer Vaughn was a female voiceover artist. I don't know if she still does voice work. She was our voiceover in Pittsburgh and in Philly. And she was awesome. I know her, but I don't know Brian. I've worked at stations that ran Brian. When I was in Phoenix, country station I worked at, Camel Country, we ran Brian's at work. Here's Driscoll for you.
Wow.
If you're not saying anything worthy or that people care about, you're wasting your money in the advertising that you're doing. So,
no commercials, no problem. Jeffro.Radio.
So there you go. That's it. I ran Mark for a little while, and then we had a falling out, and I stopped running Mark.
Well, that's confusing. How is it working for different radio companies? Like the timeline, because me and Axel were talking about this. You were working for Odyssey, you've been working for iHeart, you've been working for a small company like Big City Radio. How is that transition?
I've never worked for Odyssey, just to clarify. I worked for CBS. No, I never worked for Entercom. I worked for CBS Radio before Entercom bought it. I worked for a lot of companies. Yeah, I've worked for iHeart. I worked for Clear Channel before it was iHeart. I've worked for CBS. I worked for ABC for a few minutes here in Chicago. Radio's radio. Every place runs differently. The corporate end of it, if you're just a DJ on the air, you don't really get involved in the corporate side of it. I mean, maybe a little more so now because like what I do for iHeart is not on a local level. I work on a national level. And so I work for a guy named John Zellner, and John is like third in command for the whole company. You know, he's close to the top, but he does national stuff. I don't deal with local people at this point. It's just not in the job description. But for most DJs, you're not dealing with corporate other than maybe for like insurance or payroll issues. You're dealing with your local market manager. Yeah. So it's kind of the same for DJs everywhere. You're dealing with your immediate supervisor. Mm-hmm. They are dealing with their supervisors. And a lot of times those are the corporate people, you know. But I've also been in programming a bit where I've had to deal with corporate stuff too. Radio's radio. Every company does things a little differently. But it's kind of the same thing wherever you are.
Mm-hmm. I want to ask, do you have a unedited air check of the 80s channel? Because usually they edit it.
Oh, you mean like unscoped? Or
like unscoped. Yeah, that's the word I want to look for.
I'm sure I have some on it. You see the back in the corner back there, those little things?
Yeah, I also see it. You can also highlight use. We can zoom in your screen. Yeah.
Yeah, those are those back there on the wall are cassette tapes. And they're all air checks. There are a lot of 80s channel air checks back. There's air checks from all through my career. So I probably do have some that are unscoped, not many, because the main thing that we would do in the studio is record off what we call a skimmer deck, and it only would turn on when the microphone was turned on. So that's why you hear a lot of those, because that's what the DJs would record of their own shows. So the majority are scoped, as they say, or skimmed. But yeah, there've got to be a few back there that aren't. I know I have my final night on the 80s channel. I do have unedited. I do have that, and I have my final night on Energy unedited too.
Ooh,
and those are already digitized. Those are on the hard drive. So yeah.
Oh, that's
I did
awesome.
manage to actually get 2 Energy air checks as well from my air check trading as well.
If you're not saying anything,
I bumped something. Sorry, that thing was playing again. We've already heard too much Mark Driscoll. What were you saying? I apologize, Axel.
I was going to say I did manage to get 2 air checks from Energy from their first years in 2001. One from February and the other one from October. From an air check trading. I heard those air checks and I was like, man, I just hope Energy will be back soon.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been on the first one because I didn't get to Energy until about 6 months in.
Yeah. I on the Energy Wake Up service. If I remember
that started in July of 2001. So the station had already been on the air about 5 or 6 months at that point. Mm-hmm. But then I was there till the very end. I only did the morning show for a year, and then I moved back to doing nights until the end of the station.
Yeah, I think someone on YouTube did upload a little bit of with having Nerdcheck with you on it. Mm-hmm. But y'all were playing "We Are the World" for some.
That wouldn't have been on Energy.
No, I'm talking about the 80s channel. My bad.
Oh, the 80s channel.
Yeah, the 80s channel. Y'all were talking. It was your show. It might have been the last hour of your show, but you were like, "Oh, we're gonna play a song that it's not a remix, but it's 7 minutes long," and then y'all started playing "We Are the World" after that. And then I think it went to Sandy
you know what
Max.
It probably was.
Yeah,
it might have been. It was on one of our feature weekends. Because we didn't play "We Are the World" normally. It was either the 80s A to Z or it was the number one weekend.
It was a number one air check. It's on YouTube.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to, it is? Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to have to send it to you eventually. Yeah.
It's probably, the number one. It was the 103 point number one weekend. Okay, here.
Yeah. I love the jingle from that one because they have number one.
All right.
You just started yelling it.
Hold on a moment. Give me a second here. Do I still have that? Let's
see. Do you want me to send it to you right now?
No.
No. I'm just saying. I'm just asking.
I might actually have the jingle here. I'm just
okay.
Hold on. Why is it still here? I guarantee you it exists somewhere. I don't think I have it handy right now, but I have the number. Oh, hang on. What's this? Hang on.
The 80s
Channel. It is. Kicking off the unofficial start of summer with the official number one hits of the 80s.
103.1 number one. WXXY.
I do have they're here.
Oh, wow.
103.1 WXXY.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I do. I know I save everything. I just have to find it. Some of the stuff.
Oh yeah, no. There was one that has number one weekend, and there's another one that probably had you with. It might have been the weekend. Another.
Well, if I was talking about "We Are the World," I bet you it was a crossover with Sandy Max before.
It was. Yeah, that's the one because I heard her voice a little bit, and then she did her own show.
Yeah, Sandy would come in and do. We hired Sandy to do a show called The Deep End. And it was 2 hours of music that you don't hear on the radio. It's all 80s, but it was all alternative sound, the stuff that commercial radio never played. In fact, the one rule I said to Sandy when we hired her for it, I said, the only rule I have to give you, if we play the song on the 80s channel normally, you can't play it. But
that is true.
Anything else is yours. I don't need to know your playlist. Just do it. You know that music better than I do. And she was great. She was fantastic. I'm going to see her in a couple months, actually.
Oh wow!
Yeah, she's up in Milwaukee. She's on the PBS station in Milwaukee. She has a radio show in Milwaukee at WTMJ, a talk station, and she does like a TV show. Do you know Axel about how Jeffrey Bear on Channel 11 here in Chicago, the PBS station?
I have heard.
He's always around town doing stuff.
Yes,
that's what she does for the PBS station in Milwaukee. So she's still around.
Oh, I love that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe you can talk to her about us. It would be great. It would be great.
I mean, what do you have to do with? But I don't know what are you doing that has to do with Milwaukee? I don't think it really.
I mean, no, not in Milwaukee. I'm talking about the 80s channel.
Oh yeah. Well, we all know we know that there are fans that are still out there. I just it's harder to find them because it's been 25 years since it went off the air.
Yeah, it's also it's actually been 25 years now since Energy 92.7 and 5 launched as well.
Well, that was 3 days apart.
So yeah,
The 80s channel,
Lord,
the
how to ready-
80s
ready.
channel went off the air. Energy came on the air on a Friday afternoon at 5:00. The 80s channel went off the air that following Monday at 6:00.
wow.
Yes, 3 days apart. And I wasn't there for that. I sometimes forget that I wasn't there for that because I had already left the 80s channel about 3 weeks earlier. My last day on the 80s channel was January 5th of 2001. And it was coincidental that my last day was also Murphy's last day, Robert Murphy, and it was also Rich Marston, our general manager's last day. All just completely coincidental. But we all knew that the writing was on the wall and that it wasn't going to be around much longer. So it was our last day. So I wasn't there for the last 3 weeks of the 80s channel, but I did program the last day. So if you ever hear any air checks of the final day of the 80s channel, I programmed the music for that day. Chris was nice enough to let me do it.
Some of the songs
It was all messages.
took.
if you listen to the last show, which I do have, Fred Winston was on the air from 3 to 6 that day. Every song that he played, I scheduled every song, and they all listen to the title or the theme to the song, and they all have something to do with the end or a new beginning or something.
Yeah, I saw What Have I Done to Deserve This, and then I saw If You Leave, which is a good message to say we're gonna leave.
The whole last 3 hours are everything had a meaning to it.
Everything.
Yeah.
No, I heard the launch of it and when it ended because they were both on the same website. I think you heard of the Radio Jingles. What is it? Not Radio Jingles. It's like Radio Air Checks Online.
Format Change Archive.
Yeah,
You're
that
right,
one.
right.
Yeah, you were in there. You were writing a whole thing about the history.
I wrote the synopsis. I remember. Yeah.
You wrote that, and I was like, oh, even the same Jeffrey obviously he's gonna know, but the same Jeffrey even talks about it. It's like, okay, well, we know the story now of how it launched and how it ended, which is like, it's nice. I mean,
it was fun. It was. I would still say it was probably the most. It's probably my favorite radio station that I ever worked at in my career because I really helped to build it from ground up. There were 3 guys. It was me, it was Chris Schiebel, it was Steve Davis, who we mentioned earlier, who was a consultant, but a good friend of ours too.
100%.
And we put that together. We came up with the playlist. We came up with everything. And Chris was great in that, even though he was the program director and I was the assistant program director and music director, Chris was very cool about giving me enough autonomy to basically be the program director, even though it wasn't the title. He very rarely stepped in and, said no to something that I wanted to do. He for the most part, let me go in there and do what I thought was the thing to do, which was great. And even, especially as we got closer and closer to the end, which we didn't know at the time, like the first round of music, the sign-on music we did for the 80s channel was the 3 of us. We had a spreadsheet filled with songs, and the 3 of us put a yes or a no on all of them, and any song that had 3 yeses went in. That was how we picked the original playlist. It was really a democracy of 3 people, and then from that point forward, I would go to them and say, all right, are we going to do the next list? And they were just like, put whatever you want in. so by that point they'd let me have more say, but that was a blast. It's other than Jeffro.Radio, it really and Cool FM in Phoenix a little bit, but I didn't build that from ground up. We just kind of reformatted it. But the 80s channel and Jeffro.Radio really were the 2 stations that I built from ground up.
Really, it's like the 80s channel, as someone that wasn't even alive when it was a thing. Really, it just sounded amazing from the jingles, from the voiceovers, the iconic voiceovers. I really love those.
Well, and that's Eric Edwards. Have you ever been to WXXY Chicago.com?
Yes. We visited it.
Okay, that's a page I put together in 99 or no, in 09 for the 10th anniversary of the sign-on.
You need to update it.
And I've never updated it. Yeah, it's still there. But all the jingles are on it. And there's some video and there's some air checks of most of the DJs on the station. So that still exists. It's still up there. But
that's where I got most of my 80s channel history from, really. From Eric Edwards to the shows, really, the show sounded great. There's rarely any air checks of the morning show, though. There needs to be more, but
I don't have a lot of Murph. I don't have a lot of that. I have some. Because there was, let's see, hang on. let's see here. When I did every 5 years, I do on Jeffro.Radio, I do an 80s channel tribute.
Yeah.
And,
I saw a post about it, but
I play
Radio.
And I play some. What's going on here? Why is this not happening? Okay, here we go. Hang on. So I put a little bit of air checks on that as well when I do it. So here we go. Here's a little bit of Murphy.
The 80s Channel.
From Chicago, Robert Murphy plays the 80s and nothing but the 80s. All summer long.
103.1 WXXY.
Oh my God.
20th anniversary of the Murphy in the Morning Show.
20 wonderful years. And 20 years of this man.
Robert Murphy.
You run away, you sneak out at nights. I cannot go through this no more. I'm on the nervous breakdown.
He's in a ton of movies. He's always plays a bad guy. He's great. He's a little eccentric. You should meet him. He's totally weird in real life.
It's the Murphy in the Morning Show.
It's got to.
I'm just realizing this is the air check that's on WXXYChicago.com. So you probably already heard it. Yeah.
I heard a little bit of it. Yeah. I heard the one with your part in it, which is also pretty good.
Well, it's all one piece, and I just pieced them all together. But I did it using the stuff that I would play on these.
Yeah.
But, I don't have a lot of air checks of the other guys either that were on the station, because when you're in it, you're not thinking about it one day being over. And you're not thinking, I hope we're all saving things for when it's gone. You're just doing it. And it's hard to think forward like that, maybe at some point we'll all want to look back on this.
Yeah.
You don't think that way.
Really? Like they also said y'all made billboards for the 80s channel and promos, TV promos. One of them is up. But
we had we had L boards, actually, L billboards. We didn't have super big ones. In fact, can I do that? Hang on, let me see. Let me see if I can make this work.
You can probably will, but we'll have to see.
Can you make that out?
Yeah, we can.
Let me put this in full screen.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's one of the 3 that we had done. That's Duran Duran hacked into tiny bits. The whole joke was we were promoting the fact that because since you couldn't hear our station in most of the market. We would have these billboards that would push to streaming, because streaming was still a new thing at that point. So we would say, listen on the net, WXXY.com. And we had these on L stops all across Chicago. That's I've got wacky little things like there's the Kiss FM. That's the Kiss FM logo.
The Chicago Cubs. Oh,
yeah,
nice.
The Cubbies and the Kiss FM, a Cubs guitar.
That's awesome.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's an energy banner. It's hard to see, but it's below the.
the Energy Blast.
That's Energy Blast.
Oh, I see K-Hits. Oh,
yeah,
man,
there's a
that's
K-Hits
cool.
80s Wonderland. Yeah.
Jeffro.Radio on the top.
Yeah, Jeffro.Radio over there. I got a lot of stuff hanging in the studio with logos and stuff like that. Kiss Cool FM in Phoenix.
I see.
Yeah, it's I try to I kind of make this my little haven, my little museum.
Really, my museum is just a bunch of random stuff.
Hey,
but someone did give me this a Jerry Funko Pop because I low key wanted it.
Hang on. Here's one.
Oh, let's see. That's yours.
I forgot you could create a Funko Pop.
Oh yeah, you could do that, but it's like $50. I don't even know.
Well, I have that, and I also have Lego Me.
Oh,
nice.
And it's hard to make out; it's not clear, but it says Jeffro.Radio on the shirt.
It looks more like it looks more like Murphy.
There's only so much you can do with Legos,
It is, yeah. Really, there's like a bunch of stuff I love from the 80s channel. And I know I keep saying the 80s channel, but it's just so good. And it's so
talking
good.
to the right guy. It's my favorite radio station. So, yeah.
No, that's why whenever I saw you having an Instagram page and everything, I'm like, oh, I gotta follow this guy. I mean, no way, I gotta follow Jeffrey. He's like the main leader.
I got a few more minutes. If you have any other questions, then I gotta bail.
Okay, we'll ask you. Axel's gonna ask you one question, and I'll ask you a couple. Let's see.
Hold on. Can I take a question from you, Juan?
Okay, take it.
I know. If I'm correct, I know I've heard you say it, but how did you get your start on radio?
Oh, that's going to take more than a few minutes. I don't know if we have time to get into that story, but I'll just say the basic story is that I wanted to be a DJ from the time I was a little kid. I was always fascinated by radio, and I grew up in New York City where there were just a lot of great radio stations, especially in the 80s when I was growing up. And so eventually my family moved to Pennsylvania. We're living in Reading, Pennsylvania, which is just outside of Philadelphia. And I was at the point where I knew that's what I wanted to do. So I just started knocking on doors. I was 15 years old. And the big top 40 station in Reading was called Y102. And I went there first because it just made the most sense. It was a top 40 station. I was a 15-year-old kid. And they had no time for me at all. Like, it was basically, we don't start people's careers, go get a job and come back, which is silly because in a market like Reading, that you do start your career there. That's kind of how it works. But they had a big ego about themselves. But I ended up going across the street to a station called Mix 107.5. And it was an adult contemporary station, not as popular at the time as Y102. But they had beautiful studios. It was state-of-the-art. They had just been built. This was 1990. The station only come on the air a year earlier. And their program director was very cool to let me come up and talk to him. He listened to a tape that I had made in my bedroom of me just doing a fake radio show. And he didn't make fun of it. It was awful, but he didn't make fun of it at all. And he complimented me and said, you obviously have some work, but this is really good for someone who's never done it. And he said, look, I can't offer you a job, but I would love for you to hang out at the station and just learn, kind of be a gopher or an intern, so sort of. And it was different with internships back then. Nowadays, if you try to get an internship, you have to be going for college credits. I don't like the way it's become. But back then, it was just a very casual thing. You want to be an intern? Come on up and learn. That's great. And I did, and they ended up paying me anyway under the table, which was amazing. So I got paid to come up and learn, and I was answering request lines for a dedication show we did at night, and I got to record commercials to carts and stuff, to tapes, and it was the best. It was the best. I loved it, and that was how I got in.
Really?
That station went off the air about a year later, and then I got hired by an AM station in town because Y102 still wouldn't hire me. And I got into a little AM station across town, and they put me on the air. I was never on the air at 107.5, but I was just doing stuff behind the scenes. But the AM station did put me on the air, and I worked there for about a year and a half till I graduated high school. So that was my in. Yeah,
that was awesome. That's awesome. I wish I could have done the same thing, but internships are.
And again, it is very different today. It doesn't work the same way. You got to also remember that then every radio station, for the most part, was owned by a different company. The media, the media landscape didn't change till deregulation in '96. Before that, the most stations in a market that a company could own was one AM, one FM, and one TV. That was it. So no company had more than that in a market. So, if you had 30 stations in the market, you knew at the very most there were 15 companies. Yeah. Now 30 stations are probably 4 companies. I mean, it's just the way it is. So you had a lot of you had way more options and places to go and learn.
Yeah, that's what I want to do mostly. And I'm bilingual, so
it helps. It helps.
Yeah, it helps.
Hell, I could love to do a tropical Spanish and English station. I don't know.
We have few friends from New York, Texas, from Philadelphia. I'm from Chicago, Chicago, Illinois. Oh, yeah. We have our own radio brands and all. And
oh yeah, we do.
We've always been doing like fictional ones. Like Juan has Hit FM, which is
it's basically like your station, but except mine will play some Spanish hits here and there. It's like a mix of English and Spanish.
Is it just called Hit FM, or do you have
it's Hit FM, but it's like a fake frequency. In Dallas, it's 93.5. We'll send you the website. Okay. Well, I'm gonna ask it before. We probably already answered this before, but I'm gonna just say it again. What inspired Jeffro.Radio to be what it is today? Even though we talked about it earlier.
I really didn't talk much about it. I had done 80snow.com from 03 to, I guess it was around 06 or 07. And I decided on the weekends I wanted to have a little fun and expand the playlist a little bit and make it a little different. So on the weekends, I started calling it Jeffro.Radio. Mm-hmm. And that was when, hang on, here we go.
Look
Weekends are too short.
So we put all our favorite songs on one station.
Changing the streams takes too damn long. Jeffro.Radio.
So that's me, by the way, because I didn't have money to pay for anyone else to talk.
That actually sounds good.
I did the stuff myself. But like, let's see here. One more here.
One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish.
Hey, you ain't gonna eat them, are you? They're obviously contaminated. Jeffro.Radio.
So I did silly shit like that. And I just expanded the playlist and played a bunch of different songs. But it wasn't really done well because it was literally like an iPod on shuffle. There was no formatting to it. It was just random song, random song, random song.
That's how Red Radio is.
Yeah. Well, and that's just, I didn't have time to, because I had software that I used to schedule 80s Now, but I didn't have the time to put all those other songs into it and make it work properly.
Yeah.
So I just put it on random on shuffle. And I loved it, and it was fun, but it's still on the weekends. And then in 2007, licensing, the cost for music licensing they were saying it was about to go through the roof. It was going to be just insanely expensive, where even like stations that made money, which I never have on these stations that made money wouldn't even be able to afford to pay it. It was just too much. Like you had to be a terrestrial station to be able to afford. And as I recall, at the time, the fees that we were supposed to pay on internet-only radio were going to be higher than terrestrial radio fees.
Oh.
Like, what? I didn't make sense. So I couldn't afford to do it anymore. So I shut the thing off. I shut it down, which was fine because at that point I took a job. I was living in Miami at that time. And then I took a job in D.C., and I had to move, and I was busy with the new job. So it was fine that it went off the air because I wouldn't have had time to do anything with it anyway. But about a year or two later, I started messing around with it again. And that's when I decided maybe I'll make something out of Jeffro.Radio. And that's when I went to Jam and actually got some jingles sung for it, the first batch. And I started doing that. And it's just kind of grown since. It didn't even have a website until 2015, maybe.
I thought you launched it like in 2015.
Well, no, I know there's an article out there that makes it sound like I launched it in 2015. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, it had been going for a while, but that's when I got a website for it. It had been on TuneIn before. It's always been on TuneIn, but it was only on TuneIn before that. So if you wanted to hear it, you had to go to TuneIn. There was no place online. And then I got Jeffro.radio.com, and I said, all right, let's put this on there and do that. And really, 11 years ago in 2015 is when I really started focusing on it more. So since then, I've been doing a lot more on it, and it's come a long way. It's changed a lot in that time. In 2015, I wasn't playing new music. I think I was still just playing music up to like the O's, maybe the 2000s, not even the teens. And then eventually, there was a while where I was playing a Beatles song every hour, and it was a different format at that point. And then it's been the way it is now, probably for about 8 or 10 years, somewhere around then. And I just keep changing it up a little bit, but it's the same principle, and I just keep buying more jingles.
I heard, like, literally because of your station, I've heard modern top 40s that I don't even listen to, like, really, because all I've been listening to is just a bunch of 80s now.
I don't play everything. My only rule for Jeffro.Radio is it has to be a song that I like. I mean, I'm not just going to play something because it's new. So I go through new music every week. I look at the charts. I look and see what's different about Jeffro.Radio than most top 40 stations, other than the fact that I play sorry. I swear to God, I didn't touch anything. So what's happening on my station as opposed to regular top 40 stations? I don't know if you've probably noticed, like top 40 stations now playing new music. Rarely do you ever hear a rock-based song. You hear a lot of rhythm. You hear a lot of pop. Pop's made a big comeback, but you rarely ever hear a very successful rock-sounding song. And one of the things that I've always been passionate about, and I think is a key to success of any radio station, is the balance. Is a balance of everything. It's a balance of era. It's a balance of genre. It's a balance of gender. It's a balance of tempo. It's a balance of mood. Everything needs to be balanced out. So when you listen to the station for any 15-minute period, you're not hearing all the same song kind of over and over again. And that's what I do on Jeffro.Radio. And I figured, well, okay, I balance out rock, pop, and rhythm, and I always have. But with new music, there's no rock. So what I do is I combine what's happening in top 40 now and what's happening in alternative radio, where there is still some rock out there.
Yeah.
Not as much as there used to be, but there's still some, just so I can have some new product on the station that has a little bit of an edge to it,
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a little different mix than you'll hear anywhere else. But
I heard you also play some songs from K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh yeah.
I play. Yeah.
I do. I play Soda Pop, I play Golden, and I play what's the other one?
It's Your Idol.
Your Idol. Those are the three I play from the.
Those are my
Vince
favorite.
likes K-pop.
Shut
that's
up.
why he gets that.
No.
Those are great. Look, those are great. I don't make fun of anybody for that. I love those songs. They are good pop songs. They're pop records. They sound like good pop songs. I love them.
Really?
What's funny is that
I've never watched the show, but it's good.
It's a really good movie.
I've never watched it, but I don't have any interest in seeing it. But the music, as far as top 40 music, it's good stuff.
What's funny is that I'm a huge J-pop fan.
J-pop fan? A J-pop fan?
What?
J-pop.
Oh,
Japanese pop.
Yeah, Japanese pop.
I'm not familiar with that. The problem is any of it in English, because it's probably most
some of it. J-pop and K-pop. Some of them are in English. They have some English lyrics in them. No, but really, talking about these stations, like, there's not a lot of info. Well, what I know about 92 Kiss FM, really. So I feel like you'd know a little bit more of that.
Yeah, if you ever have questions that you need answered, send me an email. I'm usually if it's a simple enough question that I can take just 2 minutes and write a quick response to it. Mm-hmm. I think you guys know I'm pretty good about getting back to you. The only thing it took me forever to get back to you on is to set this up. But that, I'm pretty good about respond. It drives me nuts when people don't respond to emails, especially when you can just if it only takes you 30 seconds to write a quick response. Why not? So I try to be that way.
All right,
if you want to promote your radio station, you can do it. You can do it.
Yeah, you can do it with us, really, but or here on the.
Well, hey, promote it to death. I just tell you to tell everyone you know about Jeffro.Radio. It's a very unique format, as you guys know. I as many ears as I can get listening to it. I firmly believe that the more people that listen to it, someone's going to be into it in a way. I feel like you can't listen to Jeffro.Radio more than about 5 minutes without hearing something you like. Even if you hear a song you don't like, the next one you probably will. It's trying to be a lot of things to a lot of people.
I remember, I was really listening to it, and then I heard Your Idol. I was like, huh. Jeffrey likes this music.
I do. I like top 40 music. I love it. And if you get a song that's why I'm glad that I stay in touch with the new music that's coming out now. So because I hate to feel disconnected. Whereas some people my age, I'm 50 years old. Some people 50 don't want to hear new music, but I want to hear. I want to hear what's going on.
No, really. I'm in the more younger generation, so obviously I'm gonna know a little bit more of top 40, and really I checked the top 40 charts. I really don't.
All right, quiz me about 3 songs that are somewhat recent that are not K-pop, because I told you the ones I know.
Okay,
and then I'm gonna bail. I want to see if I can pass your test.
Okay, back to Friends.
Oh, we got Somber.
I'm trying to remember another one. Sports car.
Tate McRae.
Okay.
Ordinary.
Excellent.
Or Alex Warren.
Oh, really?
That's a boring song, but God bless
it. It is.
It is. That song. I fall asleep every time it comes on. Ordinary. How about extraordinary? Super ordinary.
Really?
But it works, yeah.
It's supposed to be a ballet
song. And I play all of those songs on Jeffro.Radio. That's how I know it. Yeah.
Listen to Jeffro.Radio.
Do you like the new Harry Styles, the Aperture?
It's not. I haven't heard it yet.
It kind of meanders. It doesn't really do anything. It just kind of goes on and on.
I haven't heard it yet, but what I've heard recent is Taylor Swift's new music. I heard Opalite.
Opalite and Fate of Ophelia. I play both of those.
Yeah. And did you play Life of a Short Girl?
No, I play those are the 2 songs on the album I play. I play Fate of Ophelia and Opalite. And they haven't released another single. So because I'm not, Jeffro.Radio is, as I always try to explain, is not a station that's out there to make hits or just a station that plays hits. So if it's already becoming a hit, I'll play it. But I'm not going to dig into a deep cut of the track and go, let me see if I can make this work. No, that's not what I do.
No.
Yeah. So if they ever release another single, I think they only recently released Opalite as a single because radio was playing it from the beginning, just even though it wasn't a single. So I think they finally officially released it as a single. So it could be months until another song gets
It could have been, yeah. And it's funny enough, I discovered "Oh Polite" because of you. So,
because I played it.
Yeah, because you played it.
Yeah.
Like I literally we were listening because, like I said, me and my dad were having the construction thing, and the guy had an Alexa, the guy that had the house.
Right.
So I said, play the station, play Jeffro.Radio, and so we played it. And honestly, I heard some 80s. It was pretty good. A mix of 80s,
it's a whole
mix of 90s, a mix of 70s.
And you're never going to hear a
great.
bunch of anything in a row. You will always hear Dutch. Okay, I will leave you with a trivia question of my own.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What do I have in common with Taylor Swift?
You're both white.
That is true, but it's a little more specific than that.
Ooh, Axel, can you guess? I already guessed.
You know?
I mean, you guys have the same hair color.
No, it has nothing to do with the physical appearance. Nothing to do with that.
What can you give us a hint?
I have sex with Travis Kelce. No, I'm kidding. No, we were both born in the same hospital.
Oh, really?
And when she was born, I was a mile away from that hospital in high school the day she was born. Yeah, I was right down the street.
Wow.
Yeah, we're born in the same Reading Hospital in Reading, Pennsylvania. We're both born in the same hospital.
Nice.
That's all I got. That and $5 will get you a small coffee. But that's all I got. If you bring up Taylor Swift, there you go. Yeah.
Really, when I think of Taylor Swift, I think of white girl music. But anyway.
Well, hey, there's a lot of white girls out there, so yeah.
Anyway, Axel, I'm probably gonna. You want to start the interview?
Well, yeah, I was going to say thank you everyone for watching this whole live. Not
all of it.
Not all of it.
There's certain things I said that can't be shared.
No worries.
Especially not that.
Yeah. The one part of that, yes, we don't want anyone to know that.
No, thank you. Well, I'm gonna say the outro for Axel because I was nervous the fullest time. I feel bad for Chris. I introduced you instead of Chris. Really?
What happened?
I mixed up and I thought you were here already, but it was Chris that joined in. And I
wasn't listening, so I don't know what was happening.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry for Chris.
It was nice to see him. I didn't know if he'd be available to do it, but that's great that he.
I didn't know either. Axel didn't tell me. That's why I said
mystery guest. Well, that's why I didn't know if he knew I was even going to be on. That's why when I popped in, I didn't know if he expected.
No, he did. We even told him, hey, Jeffrey is gonna be here in a few minutes.
He's probably like, oh, he's always late. I'm like, I'm sitting here at the computer going, hello, anyone want to invite me in? Feel free to reach out for any questions you've got. I love when I find people that are interested in the business because there aren't as many people these days. And I do honestly try to, they say pay it forward. There were some people that gave me when I was way younger than you guys, when they gave me answers and time. And got on the phone and talked about radio with me that didn't have to. And I'm always grateful to them. And I try to do the same thing for others. So,
yeah, that's pretty great. I mean, me and Axel have been interested I've been interested on radio since like 2020, really. But I was mostly first on the jingles, and then I later on got into more. Yeah,
me too. Here's the thing: I've been doing radio for 36 years, and I'm still more interested in the jingles than I am the radio. It's true. It's true.
I mean, it does happen. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, if you think of anything, just let me know.
We will. And me and Axel. All right. Thank you for watching the interview. This was.
We're still on.
Yes.
We're just about to end the recording.
We're going to end the recording right now.
I thought I'm telling you this stuff off the record. No one's supposed to know that I'm a nice guy. Come on.
Oh man, it was supposed to be a secret. Okay, that was it for Axel and Friends. I'm Juan.
I'm Axel. If you guys want to listen to Jeffrey's radio station, you can visit Jeffro.Radio. You can also listen to him on iHeart. And you can also visit his website at jeffreyt.com. And if you want to, you can also visit our website at the-red-group.com.
And if you want to, you can also call Jeffrey. I tried it. He didn't reply.
Call me. You don't have my number. You'll never have my number.
No, I was talking about the iHeart number. But
well, okay.
Yeah.
Fun fact, it's just voicemail. There's no phone. I don't have that ability. I don't have the ability to answer that call. It's just voicemail. It's just a way that I can give the number out. I give the number out. If somebody decides to leave a message, I can at least put them on the radio.
That's great.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Now you know. All right. See y'all on the next episode.
You guys want to be...
All right, now I'm really hanging up. I'm hanging up. I have to go.
Go. Go do your stuff. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.